Now, a shop worker has been reliving the terrifying moments when she was confronted by a robber with a knife.
Lisa Wright was working in a small supermarket in Great Yarmouth when the man came in and demanded she empty the till.
But Lisa refused his demands, earning praise from her boss, as Malcolm Robertson reports.
Outside the shop where she works, a tribute to her courage. Inside, Lisa Wright gets on with her job, serving customers and trying to put behind her the nightmare of last Saturday. Today she spoke to me about her ordeal when she was alone in the shop and confronted by a man.
All of a sudden I saw the knife in his hands and he said, empty the till, and I just went to him, no, just go away, will you just go away and just leave me alone? And he turned around and said, no, empty the till. And I said, no, just get out of the shop.
He was persistent, but so was she.
And I took the keys out of the till so he couldn't get in, and he banged on the till, and then he turned around and said, just open it. And I was going, no, just go, just get out of the shop and go.
He grabbed packets of cigarettes, but that was as far as he got.
As he went to go out, he looked at the drink, and I said, don't even go there, mate. And he just walked out the door.
Police are studying CCTV images of the man. Were you scared?
Very frightened, but I just didn't want him to see that I was, worried. But, I mean, he wasn't going to get it because it's been hard times. The business has been bad and everywhere's been bad. And why should someone like him get it?
Her boss was full of admiration, if a little concerned.
Very brave. I'm glad she'd done it. But it could have been dangerous. She could have the knife put in her. But any customer that's heard about it has praised her, said how brave she was. They couldn't have done it. And it surprised me. I thought Lisa would have stood and cried. But she's braver than I thought, stronger than I thought.
Exactly a week ago today, and less than a mile from where Lisa Wright was confronted by that robber with a knife, a man walked into this shop. He also had a knife and stole a quantity of cash. Detectives are looking at a possible link and acknowledge there are similarities. As terrifying as the incident was, Lisa Wright says she would do exactly the same again. Malcolm Robertson, Anglia News, Great Yarmouth.
Now then, it's been revealed MPs were paid over £3 million in expenses in the 3.5 months following May's general election.
And the highest amount paid out went to one of our region's MPs. Matthew Hudson joins us now from Westminster. Matt, is this a repeat of last year's expenses scandal?
No real scandal here. These are all justified claims, but they have been very eagerly anticipated. The website crashed after receiving 80,000 hits in the first hour. Of course, the amount and the things that MPs can claim for have been severely reduced, particularly for those living within an hour of London, and that does include some of our MPs. The highest claimer in the country, though, was Keith Simpson, the Broadland MP. He claimed more than £20,000, most of it for mileage, for accommodation and for payments to staff. One interesting one, though, Bob Russell, Lib Dem MP for Colchester. He claimed £82 for toilet paper for his constituency office. And believe it or not, this has sparked furious debates on parliamentary message boards, with people asking whether taxpayers should be paying for it. Personally, it's something I'd rather not think about. Down at the other end, if you'll pardon the expression, well, step forward Chloe Smith, Grant Shapps, Kelvin Hopkins, Bernard Jenkin, Jackie Doyle-Price and Stephen Metcalfe. They all claimed less than £500. But way down at the bottom, Southend's Tory MP David Ames, he claimed less than £60. That's value.
That certainly is. My goodness, 60 quid. Matt, thank you very much for that. Right then, it's coming up to 6:15. You're watching the first half of your news hour here on... The MP for Norwich South, Simon Wright, has decided he will vote against the coalition government's plans to raise tuition fees.
The Liberal Democrat has come under mounting pressure from the National Union of Students to honour a pledge he made before the general election to oppose any increases.
But even with today's announcement, some students say it's still too little, too late. Ellie Price has this report.
Last month, students at the UEA made their opinions very clear about how their local MP should vote on the coalition government's plans to raise tuition fees. Simon Wright's silence on the issue angered many of the 10,000 students in his Norwich South constituency. But with a week to go before the vote, he's announced he will stand by his manifesto pledge and vote against the plans.
I've come to the conclusion that because I was elected, having campaigned vigorously against tuition fees, that I think that I have the mandate to vote against the government on this issue. That's what my constituents have been telling me, and I've been listening throughout the last few weeks to their views.
and their views were very clear. But today, the UEA Students' Union was happy their MP was back on the right track.
It is late in the day, but at the same time, we're pleased that he's made the decision we have, so we can't fault him for that. And he never officially came out and said he would vote any other way, so I always had the faith, and I always knew that someone would do the right thing.
Simon Wright is speaking tonight at the UEA on the issue and may find he doesn't get such a warm reception from everyone.
He won Norwich South on the student vote by saying that he was going to vote against the rise in tuition fees, and then the fact that he has now finally come out with it, I mean, it should have happened much earlier on.
I'm glad he has changed his mind, definitely, and hopefully Nick Clegg will as well.
For students here at the UEA, Simon Wright's decision is a small victory. The challenge will now be persuading other Lib Dems around the country to follow suit before next week's big vote. But they've got a head start in our region. Bob Russell in Colchester will vote against an increase, as will Julian Hubbard in Cambridge, although North Norfolk's Norman Lamb will vote in favour. These scenes from the student protests in London demonstrate just what a hot topic this is. The vote is due to take place on the 9th of December and could spell the first major hurdle in the Conservative Lib Dem coalition. Ellie Price, Anglia News.
It's been announced that the funeral of Norfolk turkey tycoon Bernard Matthews will be a private family service. Mr Matthews, who built up a multi-million-pound food empire, died at his home last week. He was 80. Donations to the Caister lifeboat, his favourite charity, can be sent to his company's headquarters at Great Witchingham in Norfolk.
With our rail network under pressure from the weather at the moment, it's been announced that train services north of Cambridge into West Norfolk won't be electrified until at least 2015. The North West Cambridgeshire MP, Stephen Barclay, asked whether Thameslink might continue improvements all the way to Littleport and onto King's Lynn. But the Transport Secretary, Philip Hammond, said there were no such plans over the next 4 years.
There are no plans to look at further extension of the Thameslink programme during the current control period. But as my honourable friend will know, the next Network Rail control period begins in 2014, and proposals for infrastructure enhancements to the network beyond 2014 will be looked at and evaluated over the next couple of years.
Right, let's have some sport now.